Hello students. So in the earlier video, all of us we have learnt about external and internal factors which affect the rate of transpiration, followed by adaptations in the plants to reduce transpiration. Now let us study about importance of transpiration in plants or significance of a transpiration in plants. Yes, to begin with, transpiration occurring in the plants helps in developing a cooling effect in the plant body. In the sense, as there is a loss of water in the form of a water vapor from these leaves, that reduces the temperature in the plant body, which is much required for them to survive. Okay, so just like us, even the plant body has a number of enzymes. So if there is a higher temperature, all these enzymes will be destroyed. So higher the temperature, the enzymes will be destroyed. Hence, plants carry out transpiration, thereby that cools their body and the enzymes are not destroyed. So thus you can say that one of the significance of a transpiration is to cool the plant body. Then it helps in developing the suction force. Fine. What do you mean by suction force? I think we have learnt in the earlier classes also, right? So whenever there is a transpiration occurring through the stomata, in fact, so there is a loss of water from one of the cell. So if there is a loss of water from the cell which is adjoining to the guard cells or the stomata, okay, so this cell will lose water. When it loses water to the guard cells, the concentration of cell sap increases. The concentration of cell sap increases. In the sense, you will have a more number of solutes compared to the water in this cell compared to the adjoining cell. So in the previous cell, you may have a lot of water compared to this cell which has lost its water to the guard cells. So automatically water from this second cell enters into the first cell by osmosis, which further enters into the stoma, right, or the guard cells. Thereby you can say that this osmosis or inward movement of water from one cell to the other cell will continue in a sequential manner. If you think this is the first cell absorbing water from the second cell, so when the second cell loses the water to the first cell, again the concentration of a cell sap in the second cell increases, thereby it absorbs water from the third cell. So thus you can say that this sequence of endosmosis from one cell to the other cell continues in such a way that it passes this to the stem, from stem to the roots, so that roots will have that pressure of absorbing more and more water. So thus you can say that there is a suction force created, okay, in a backward sequential manner, due to which there is a continuous conduction of water through these root hair. So thus there is a development of suction force because the leaves are losing water. So they may lose several liters of the water vapor in the form of a transpiration every day, thereby which develops the sequential manner for the absorption of water from the earlier cells, then to the stem, then finally to the roots. So thus there is a suction force created which is required for the continuous absorption of water in the plant, so that every cell of the leaf or every leaf even found in the tip of the trees receive the water. In fact, in the other way, we call it as a transpirational pull. And this is responsible for all the leaves to receive water even if they are found in the tip of the branches in the tall trees. Fine. Then the third significance is that transpiration also helps in distribution of water and mineral salts. And as we know that, just now I taught you, since the leaves are losing water in the form of the water vapor found in the tips of the branches or tips of all those, all those trees which are quite large, in that cases also what happens, again because of the continuous loss of water from these leaves, there is a force created which continues in a backward way, in a sequential manner, and due to which water will be continuously absorbed. When the continuous absorption of water takes place, along with that we also find the mineral salts being absorbed, so that every part of the plant receives the water and mineral salts. So just because a transpiration is occurring continuously, thus there is an upward conduction of water also. So there is an upward conduction of water along with the solutes, so that every part of the plant receives the water along with mineral salts. So thus the importance of a transpiration in plants, it helps in cooling effect, cooling the plant body. It helps in developing the suction force, and also it helps in the distribution of water and mineral salts to every part of the plant. Fine children. Now let us start with some of the experiments related with transpiration. Yes, to begin with, let us have a first experiment, a simple experiment. You can try this at home all by yourself. Fine. So let us start. The first experiment to prove that transpiration occurs through the aerial parts of the plant. Okay. So what you are going to take in this experiment, you are going to take a potted plant. Okay, a potted moderate sized plant, and then you're going to tie the polythene bag. You're going to tie the polythene bag around the plant. Polythene bag around the plant in such a way that you have to tie the knot to the base of the stem. Fine. Water the plant thoroughly, and then it has to be kept in the sunlight. Then my question is, why don't we cover even the polythene bag around the pot also, including the plant? Can you guess? Since we have watered the plant, there can be evaporation of water from the soil, which may also mislead us with the experiment. Hence, we are not going to cover the pot along with the plant, covered by the polythene bag. Only the pot is uncovered and the plant is covered by a polythene bag in such a way that it is tied at the bottom or the base of this stem. Then what do we observe after few hours? We observe that we find the droplets of water collecting on the inner lining of the polythene bag, on the inner lining, on the inner surface of the polythene bag, which indicates that the leaves which have a stomata have lost water in the form of a water vapor by transpiration. Fine, children. How about the control setup for this experiment? So this becomes the experimental setup, and we know that control setup is a setup in which condition under study is missing. Can you guess what can be taken for a control setup? Yes, you should take just the polythene bag whose mouth has to be tied and without the plant. Why the mouth has to be tied? If it is a winter season, there are chances even the water vapor or the water to enter into the polythene bag and starts collecting inside the polythene bag. So the control setup is a empty polythene bag whose mouth has been tied and it is without a plant. So this is the control setup. Now, there is one more way to demonstrate transpiration but using different apparatuses. We call this as a bell jar experiment. Fine, children. So in this case, we are going to take three setups. We can name it as A, B and C. Fine. So you can say that in first setup we have a potted plant covered by a bell jar. So this is the bell jar, and you should take some precautions. The edges of the bell jar should be completely made airtight. You can apply the Vaseline and make it airtight, okay, so that the atmospheric air does not enter into the bell jar and then interfere with our experiment. Right? So this is the first set. Second setup B. You're going to take again a potted plant, but along with the potted plant you're going to take a wooden plank here. Wooden plank to which one of the indicator has been attached. What is that indicator? The indicator is a cobalt chloride paper which reacts to the water. Okay, so you're going to take a cobalt chloride paper, right, and then fix that cobalt chloride paper to the wooden plank, pin it, and entire apparatus or both the plank and the pot should be covered or placed inside the bell jar. Then moving on to the third one. Children, can you guess? Can you guess? Here the third one behaves as a control setup. It behaves as a control setup because there is only a wooden plank with the cobalt chloride paper, but the plant is not taken. Right now, so keep these three setups ready. Leave this apparatus in the sunlight for about few hours. So what do we observe after few hours? We find that in the inner lining of the bell jar we find the deposition of water droplets. Okay. And children, one more precaution to be taken here. What is that? Even the pot has to be covered with a polythene bag. Though you have kept the plant and the pot within the bell jar, since you have watered the plant, there are chances for the water from the soil to evaporate and then interfere with our results. So to prevent that, the pot has to be covered with the polythene bag. Okay, so After few hours, we find that there is a deposition of water droplets on the inner lining of the bell jar, indicating that transpiration has occurred through the stomata or the aerial parts of the plant. Then, how about in the setup B? In the setup B, of course, you find the deposition of water in the inner lining of the bell jar, but along with that, you will find that the cobalt chloride paper would have changed its color from blue to pink color. So it indicates that the cobalt chloride paper acts as an indicator which absorbs the water and changes its color into pink. So this clearly indicates that transpiration, in transpiration they lose water in the form of a water vapor that has made the cobalt chloride paper to change its color from blue to pink. Fine. So whereas in third setup, we have just taken the cobalt chloride paper, pinned on the wooden plank. We don't find any change in the color of the cobalt chloride paper because no plant to take part in transpiration. And this setup, can you guess? So it acts as a control setup. Okay, that proves that if there is no plant, there is no transpiration occurring in the plants. Fine, children. Okay, now let us move on to the third experiment, that is by weighing methods. What is that weighing methods? Probably similar experiment we learnt in the absorption of water by roots, right? But here again you are going to take two test tubes filled with the water, and you are going to have a small leafy shoot in one of the test tube. Okay, let me label it as A and B, and then you're going to add a layer of, or you're going to add few drops of oil in both the test tubes, which prevents the evaporation of water from the test tube. Okay, now what do you mean by weighing method? Here you are going to take these two test tubes. Okay, keep the necessary, you should keep everything ready, that is two test tubes of the same size, fill the water of the same quantity and oil, okay, drops, followed by the twig, and these two test tubes have to be kept in the test tube stand. So before you keep in the test tube stand, okay, weigh the test tubes. So in the beginning, try to weigh the test tubes. So in the beginning of the experiment, try to weigh the test tubes, both A and B, and make a note of the weightage. Then place them in the test tube stand and then keep in the sunlight for about few hours. So after few hours, when you observe these test tubes, even by the observation you can say that there is a decrease in the level of the water in the test tube A. That also indicates that there is a transpiration which has reduced the level of water in the test tube, followed by, you can also again reweigh both the test tube A and test tube B. You will see that in test tube A there is a decrease in the level of a weightage, demonstrating that the plant has lost the water. Okay, so in this way you can prove that plants lose water by transpiration. Fine. Then the second weighing method, can you just look at the diagram and try to explain? Very easy. So we have taken a bottle filled with the water. So we have a cork placed here, one holed cork, and in the one holed cork, there is a plant placed. You have placed a plant. Okay, and then what happens? This bottle has a side graduated tube. So there are graduations, there are markings on this side tube. So this is the side tube having a graduations, and the entire bottle is filled with the water, and note the level of water in the side tube. Right? So leave this apparatus in the sunlight for about few hours, but you are going to make a note of the level of the water in the side test tube. Right? So after few hours, right, you're going to just observe the bottle. You will find that the level of the water in the side tube would have decreased. And since there are graduations on the side tube, that enables you to note how much of water has been lost. Okay, and that amount of, or the volume of water lost can be measured, converting that volume of water into, how much of water has been lost, that can be measured, which will indicate that loss of water by this plant due to transpiration. So, or you can also try out with the weighing machine, or I think you know that you can convert the cc into grams. So 1 cc water weighs around 1 gram. Okay, if you observe the volume of water which has been lost in the side graduated tube, if you observe it few hours after keeping in the sunlight, that will indicate that plant has lost the water by transpiration. Thank you.